Okay. Good morning, students. In previous class, under the chapter Cell, the unit of life, in this particular chapter, we have discussed regarding the plastids. The plastids are consist of the specific pigments based upon the presence of specific pigments. We will study the different types of plastids. What are those? Chromophils, chromatins and leukocytes. And we will study the pigments which are present in a different types of plastids, their functions. And at last we have studied the one of the plastid, chloroplast. We have discussed in detail the structure of chloroplast. In the sense, different types of what plastids are: chloroplast, chromoplast and leucoplast. Right? So, in today's class, let us start with discussing the next organelle. We are going to call that one as a cytoskeleton. Here, cytoskeleton in the sense what? Skeleton, you all heard the word skeleton. Skeleton in the sense the arrangement of the different types of bones, and it is going to form a one femur. That is what we are going to call as a skeleton. Here, in a cell consists of a what you all know, the cytoplasm. In cytoplasm, these all the organelles are present. Still for so far, whatever the organelles are we will study, those all are present in a cytoplasm. Likewise, in a cytoplasm, we are going to get the cytoskeleton. What are these cytoskeleton in the sense? The cytoskeletons, an elaborated network of filamentous proteinous structures. These are elaborated network of filamentous proteinous structures found in the cytoplasm, collectively called as a cytoskeleton. Cytoskeleton is nothing but an elaborated filamentous structures, elaborated network of filamentous proteinous structure. That is very important. An elaborate network of filamentous proteinous structures found in the cytoplasm, collectively called as cytoskeleton. Collectively called as cytoskeleton. This is very important. What are cytoskeleton? Cytoskeleton, an elaborate network of filamentous proteinous structures found in the cytoplasm, collectively called as a cytoskeleton. What are the functions of this cytoskeleton? Cytoskeleton functions as a mechanical support for the cell. It gives the mechanical support to the cell. Then this cytoskeleton plays a very important role in a motility. Motility in the sense movement. And last function, another function of the cytoskeleton is maintenance of the shape of the cell. Shape of the cell, whether it is square, whatever it may be the shape, that shape is maintained by the cytoskeleton. And you are all aware about the human skeleton. We are going to look at the functions of the human skeleton. That time we are going to tell the human skeleton. It is going to form a framework of our body. In the sense, it is going to maintain the structure of our body. Okay. Likewise, here these cytoskeletons are plays a very important role in maintenance of the shape of the cells. Okay, this is regarding what? Cytoskeleton. The cytoskeletons, an elaborate network of filamentous proteinous structures found in the cytoplasm, collectively called as a cytoskeleton. And functions of cytoskeletons are nothing but mechanical support, motility, maintenance of the shape of the cell. Right. This is about the cytoskeleton. Now next we are moving towards the next organelle. We used to study together. Those are what? Cilia and flagella. Where we have found the cilia and flagella. Cilia and flagella usually, suppose it is a cell and a cell membrane, you are going to get what tiny hair-like structure. Those are called as a cilia And in some cells on a cell membrane we are going to get the longer structures, those are called as a flagella. And I used to make clear to people, here I written the cilia and flagella, these are plural. These are plural. Singular here for the cilia, cilium and flagellum. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫ್ಲಾಜೆಲಮ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಒಂದೇ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಲಿಯಮ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಲಿಯಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫ್ಲಾಜೆಲಮ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ಯುಲರ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್, ಸಿಂಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ಲೂರಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೋಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏಕಕೋಶಿ ಅಥವಾ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಯುನಿಸೆಲ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. ಈ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೆಸಿಯಮ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಯುಗ್ಲಿನಾ, ಯುಗ್ಲಿನಾದಾಗ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತೈತಿ, ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಎ ಲಾಂಗರ್ flagella, that is helpful for the movement. So in today's class what we are going to study, we are going to study in detail regarding the structure of a flagella or cilium. Now first we start where you are going to find the cilia and flagella. These are the hair like outgrowths, I told you, hair like outgrowths of the cell membrane. Cell membrane ಮೇಲೆ hair like outgrowth ಇರ್ತಾವು, those we are going to call as a cilia and flagella. And I told you here the cilia are small. So cilia are small structures which works like oars. In a sense they are causing the movement of either cell or surrounding fluid. ಇವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ cilia ಈ ಒಂದು ಸೆಲ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಈ ಸೆಲ್ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ, or else they are going to make a movement in a fluid in which they are present. Understood? That is what the cilia are small structures which works like oars using the movement of either cell or surrounding fluid. Movement of cell or either surrounding fluid. FLUID ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಕಾಣಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ನಾ ಏನು ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀನಿ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬುಕ್ನಾಗೂ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. Here surrounding fluid it is. Surrounding fluid. Next, the flagella are comparatively longer. Here I made clear, flagellas are comparatively longer. Comparatively longer in the sense when you are compared to the cilia and helps in a cell movement. That is particularly helps in a cell movement. Okay, responsible for the cell movement. The next one is the cilia and flagella emerges from the centriole-like structure called as a basal body. So this is very important. One marks question. It is going to ask you for your final exam or in NET. Okay, cilia and flagella which are emerges out from the what? They are emerges out from the basal bodies, and these basal bodies are what? Centriole-like structures. These basal bodies are centriole-like structures. Okay, now this is about what? Where you are going to find the cilia and flagella, and what is the singular form of a cilia, that is cilium and flagellum. These are the hair-like outgrowths of a cell membrane, and in between these two, cilia are smaller in size and they are act like a host in the sense causing the movement of either cell or a surrounding fluid. Comparatively, the flagellum is longer and helps are responsible for the movement of a cell. Afterwards, these cilia and flagella emerges from the centriole-like structures called as a basal bodies. Now, after this, we are going to study the section. When we are going to take a section of cilia and flagella, and when we are going to observe under the electron microscope, what are the different structures you are going to observe in a what cilia and flagella. Here I drawn the diagram regarding the section of a cilia and flagella. See, in this structure, first you should know the structure, how you are going to draw. First you draw these two seals. You are going to draw these two seals first. And with that labeling only, you are going to start explaining regarding the structure. This is, then this is the central, what I written on the board. This is the central shape, and this is the central microtubule. Here we are going to find the central microtubules. Afterwards, here these whatever I drawn with the white colored this one chalk, these whatever I am drawing once again here, these all we are going to call them as a peripheral microtubules. So these two are central microtubules and these all are peripheral microtubules. And now in between these what peripheral microtubules, you are going to find the interdoblet bridge. These are the interdoblet bridge. Orange color is the violet. These all are interdoblet bridge. Next, draw here interdoblet bridge. And these what peripheral tubules and interdoblet bridge are attached with what central sheath. Here see, I am going to make it blue. Central sheath attached. Central. What we are going to call it today? These are attached. Which are attached to the peripheral microtubules and interdoblet bridge are attached to the central sheath with the help of radial spokes. You can know the radial spokes. Understood? Okay. So this is what basically the structure of what we are going to call that one cilia and flagella. Okay. So you are going to start explaining this structure now. What I told you, the plasma membrane, the plasma, in the sense whatever the cilia and what we are going to call that one as a flagella is covered by plasma membrane, and the core of that plasma membrane is called as a axon. The core of plasma membrane is called as a axonema. Now, the number of microtubules running parallel along the axis. The number of microtubules are running parallel along the axis. And here the axonema has 9 doublet radicals. Here doublet radicals are there. How many are there? 9. 1, 2. I am going to start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Understood? Arranged peripheral microtubules. In that you are going to get the peripheral microtubules, and you are going to get pair of what? Central microtubules. So earlier I explained you. First the section of cilia and flagella is covered by plasma membrane, and that core is called as an axon. The number of microtubules are arranged parallelly along the axis, and here the axonema has 9 doublet bridges in which you are going to find the peripheral microtubules, and in the center you are going to get pair 1 and 2, in the sense pair of central microtubules. So in such a type of arrangement, you are going to call that a axonema 9 plus 2, outside 9 and central 2, array, array. Okay. Next one is central tubules are connected to the bridge and also enclosed by the sheath. Whatever I told you, these are connected to the bridges and also enclosed in a sheath. And 9 radical spokes are there. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. These 9 radical spokes are helpful to joining these peripheral microtubules to the central sheath. This is regarding what? The structure of cilia and flagella. This is the what we are going to call it as a structure of cilia and flagella. Likewise, we are going to remember the structure of cilia and flagella. Sometimes they are going to ask you draw a neat label diagram of structure of means section of a cilia and flagella. That time you are going to write draw the 9 peripheral microtubules. Then you are going to draw the 9 interdoblet bridges. You are going to draw the pair of central microtubules. Then 9 radial spokes. Central sheath, then you are going to draw the plasma membrane. This is about what the structure of cilia and flagella. And from which the cilia and flagella they are going to what emerges? They are going to emerges out from the basal bodies. They are going to emerges out from the basal bodies. And what are the functions in the cells? They are going to provide the motility to the cell, or they are going to, in the cells here see flagella, the comparative longer and helps in a cell movement, and this one cilia, they are helping in cell movement or surrounding fluid. This is what we are going to call that one as a what the cilia and flagella. This is about the cilia and flagella. So in today's class we are discussed regarding what cytoskeleton and cilia. Cytoskeleton, that is the first. Afterwards we have studied the cilia and flagella. Cilia and flagella. Okay, with this I am going to stop, and we are going to start with the next topic in a next class. Thank you.